Hello, nice to meet you. My name is JJ. Can you please tell me your full name? What can I call you? All right, so in this first part, I'm going to ask you some general questions about yourself. So let's first of all talk about what you do. Do you work or study? Do you get along well with your colleagues or your classmates? If you could study a different course, what would it be? Or if you could change your job, what would it be? Okay, so now let's talk about small business. So, do you know many small businesses where you live? All right. Then, do you prefer buying things in big companies or small companies? Have you ever worked in a small businesses? Okay, so now let's talk about the area you live in. Do you like the area that you live in? What are some changes in that area recently? Do you know any famous people in that area? All right, so now let's move on to the second part of the test. So here I'm going to give you a topic and I would like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. But before you talk, you will have 1 minute to prepare and think about what you're going to say. And you can make notes if you wish. All right, so here's the cue card question. Describe an activity you enjoyed in your free time when you're young. Can you start speaking now, please? All right, so now I'm going to give you more general questions related to your topic. And the first question is it important to have a break during work or study? And what sports do young people like to do nowadays? Okay. And are there more activities for young people now than 20 years ago? All right. And what kind of activities do children and adults like to do nowadays? All right. And the last question. Do you think adults and children have enough time to enjoy leisure activities nowadays? All right, so that's it. I hope you guys had no problem answering all these questions. But if you had, don't worry. Now I will show you my band score 8 answers to all these questions. What do? Do you work or study? I'm a student at the University of Toronto, and I'm doing a bachelor's degree in business management. And I'm in my second year of university now. Do you get along with your classmates or colleagues? Yes, I'm on a friendly terms with my classmates. I mean, I've never had any trouble with them. And I have 3 close friends who I go to classes with and have lunch together. If you could study a different course, what would it be? If you could change your job, what would it be? Interesting question. Well, actually, I wanted to become a pilot when I was young. You know, they look so cool and they travel all over the world. So if I could change my program now and somebody else is paying my tuition, then I would study to become a pilot. Do you know many small businesses where you live? Yes, definitely. All the local cafes, restaurants, and small shops are small businesses. So my favorite cafes and restaurants in my neighborhood are all non-franchise, which means they are small businesses. I like going there because the owners and staff working there are very kind and friendly. Plus, they're located within walking distance. Do you prefer buying things in big companies or small businesses? It really depends on what I want to buy, but generally speaking, I prefer buying things from small businesses. Well, as I said earlier, most of my go-to cafes and restaurants are local ones. So I like the cozy ambience and I appreciate the extra effort the small business owners put into their businesses. Have you ever worked in small businesses? Yes, I have. I used to work as a part-timer at a cafe when I was a student. It was a small non-franchise cafe, and I remember the owner put extra effort into keeping it spotless. So I had to wipe the whole place all the time. Well, their restroom was even cleaner than my bedroom. But well, it was a good experience. Do you like the area that you're living? Yes, I love my neighborhood. I live in downtown, so there are a lot of cool cafes and famous restaurants. And there are always many people like tourists, couples, and locals hanging out in that area. Yeah, I love the hustle and bustle of this big city. What are some of the changes in that area recently? Well, it has changed quite a bit. There are several changes, but the biggest one is that there are lots of shopping places and digital cafes launching not too long ago. And because of them, the area got more crowded. Do you know any famous people in your area? Yes, there is an actress, Gina, who has just become kind of famous because of her part in the last movie. I mean, she's starting to make her name on a global stage. Well, I heard that she lives in my neighborhood, but I haven't seen her in person yet. Describe an activity you enjoyed in your free time when you're young. Okay, let me tell you about the activity I enjoyed a lot when I was young. When I was a kid, I loved riding a bicycle. Well, I first began learning how to ride a bicycle when I was very little. I got a bicycle as a birthday gift from my parents, and my dad taught me how to ride. Well, at the time, I went everywhere on my cute little bike, and my family was very keen on bike riding as well. So we often went to the park, rode bicycles together, and had nice picnic lunches on weekends. And actually, several months ago, I once again started riding a bicycle on a regular basis because, I wanted to get back into shape. So now I try to commute by bike during the week. And on weekends, I enjoy bike riding in the park. Well, I have a friend who also loves cycling, and he's the one who I usually go bike riding with. Well, I mean, cycling is great for everything. It really helps me to control weight and reduce stress and anxiety. So since I started regularly riding my bike, I've been feeling much more energetic and definitely less stressed. So riding a bicycle is not only something that I enjoyed when I was young, but it is also one of my favorite hobbies to do recently. Yeah, I love it so much. Is it important to have a break during work or study? Oh, yes, absolutely. It's crucial to have a break during work or study because it will boost your productivity. I mean, you need a break to work better. In my case, I always use the timer app to help with my studying. The app allows me to set up a study time and break time. Thanks to this app, I can concentrate better and accomplish more tasks. What sports do young people like to do now? Young people enjoy a wide range of sports, but nowadays a lot of them are interested in outdoor sports like cycling. Well, cycling is quite a popular sport since it can easily fit into your daily routine. Well, I enjoy cycling too, and it really helps me to reduce stress and anxiety. Well, as I said earlier, since I started regularly riding my bike, I've been feeling much more energetic and definitely less stressed. So it makes sense that cycling is all the rage nowadays. Are there more activities for young people now than 20 years ago? Yes, I do think there are more activities for young people now. With the advancement of technology, people have access to more information about available activities and all kinds of lessons. So they can check out reviews of lessons or activity programs using their phones from anywhere and at any time. So overall, I reckon we have more activities for the younger generation today compared to 20 years ago. What activities do children and adults do nowadays? There are a variety of activities that kids and adults enjoy nowadays, such as cycling, running, and surfing, and so on. So whenever I go to the park nearby, I can find a lot of kids and their parents working out, like running, cycling, and playing tennis. Well, it's a huge park offering tennis courts, bike trails, and even a place to fish. Well, I've seen people fishing with their kids there many times. Do adults and children have enough time for leisure activities nowadays? Yes, I do think they both have enough time for leisure activities compared to the past. For example, my nephew does lots of activities with his parents after school. They often go bike riding at the park or go swimming in summer. Plus, they go on a family vacation to some picturesque destinations twice a year.